Don't put the shit that can fall through. The only thing holding it is the grout. That mastic isn't the right stuff at all. Is it wet?
I don't think so, but
It's just a little moldy.
we're gonna have to do
Scrape it down.
As we're chipping away, you can see that there's a discoloration on the mortar bed. It looks like mold. It could be. We're going to be scraping it all off regardless. It's still a little bit damp, and you can see that we're using a scraping blade on a Milwaukee Sawzall. Works pretty good. We did break this one, and we're able to get some other ones at our local hardware store. They're hard to come by right now. The pink color on the floor after we've scraped is a bonding agent for the leveling compound that we poured over top of it. You can see where Danny's foot is. There's a white patch, and that was the original breakout area for the shower. They had replaced the concrete in that section, and it just it bonded really well to there, so we really didn't need a bonding agent, but we put it over the entire floor regardless.
Don't need to listen to that.
why not?
It's music to an HVAC guy's ears.
Now this leveling compound isn't absolutely necessary in most cases. We're doing a small thin format tile, as you saw probably in the previous part of this video, and we wanted to ensure that it laid flat and we didn't have to mess around with it. Made it easier, a little bit more time, a little bit more cost, but well worth it in the end, especially for a small tile. As we finish up the leveling compound, we're in preparation for squaring up the room. It's a process of measuring corner to corner and getting lines snapped down, figuring out what the best way to work the tile and hide any imperfections in the squareness of the room. This wasn't too bad. It was a little bit out of square, but that's not the end of the world, especially when you're dealing with a small tile. A little bit of color choice there for grout. And now we're laying it. It's a white thin set mortar that we're using. I believe it is modified. It's a modified product. So it's standard sanded thin set with a polymer added. Nice product. I think it's mappy. I should note here too that the leveling compound that we put down under the thin set, that was a very liquid product. We let it sit the day that we poured it, then we left it a full day, and then we worked on it. And this is that following day that we applied the tile thin set over top of it, just to ensure that it was fully cured. We mostly have it installed here. The doors, the last little bit to be done. You'll see the float there. What we're using that for is just to put an equal pressure down when setting it into the mortar bed. Works really well. It keeps the tiles flat and uniform. It's a good looking tile. It's ceramic. It was a porcelain tile. Pardon me.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's very, very slight.
Yeah, it's just an optical illusion. Yeah. It doesn't matter which way you're standing, it's got to be the pattern of the tile. It makes it feel like it slopes. That looks good. Get her cleaned up and get her grouted.
The grout that we're using is a non-sanded grout. It doesn't require any sealing afterwards. It's a nice product to work with. It's like quicksand. It's an interesting product when you're used to the old grouts, and now the additives they're putting in, their water reducers and all kinds of chemical enhancements. Pretty cool stuff, but it dries very, very hard, so you want to make sure you clean up your tile after it's done. It takes a little while. I think in this case it probably took 2 or 3 hours to set up, but it's a quick set product too, so if you're able to walk on it after a couple hours, that's pretty darn good. Danny's trying to grout running the float at 45 degrees to the tile, but on this particular pattern, that's virtually impossible. But you got to work it in, because if you don't get it in there, you end up with little voids, and when you go to wipe it, your first wipe with your sponge, it's going to show. Ice cream buckets, they're hard to come by these days. The ice cream manufacturers need to get with the program so that when we're grouting we have something to buy or something to use rather than buying 1 gallon buckets from Rona for a couple bucks.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Are we going to have to mix up a new one?
I might have just enough here.
I've got enough to mix them up. That's freaking close.
Can't get any closer than that.
No. I got a feeling we're going to be a tablespoon short. Yep.
little bit short. This is like volcanic ash, the way this stuff mixes. For anyone that remembers Mount St. Helen and dusting off your vehicle before you went to work. That's a baby boomer story, or maybe Gen X. Do you remember Mount St. Helens blowing? I think that was before your time. That's got to be 40 years ago.
I remember it. It was in the 80s.
Was it in the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got enough to do half the bathroom again. Oh well. It's pretty hard to mix up a small amount.
There, that's all I needed.
3 tablespoons. Oh, Lord. Too funny. As with all our videos, this is not a how-to video. This is a video of how it was done. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Cheers.
The buffalo is on the plains looking at the sunrise.